to today's episode of Candid Kaya. Today, I am here with PhD student and mental health advocate Leah, who is going to talk with us more about millennials and mental health. Stay tuned. So, hello, Leah.
Hey!
Thank you so much for coming on today's episode. Let's start with just letting the viewers know a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Leah Howard. I attended Spelman College for undergrad, where I majored in education. I have a master's in school counseling from Georgia State University, so I claim Atlanta. And so I'm currently working on my PhD at Mercer in counselor education. And so in between being a student, I've also been a school counselor, and I love mentoring young adults.
Okay, awesome. So tell us a little bit more about why are you so motivated to be a mental health advocate, and where did that interest really come from?
So one of the reasons I really got into mental health advocacy was because I saw there was a need for it. You know, I was looking for resources or even representation, and there was literally nothing out there. And from what I saw, you know, the couple people that I did see who were doing some advocacy work, people were really taking notice and being very receptive to it. And once I saw that, hey, this is something that I'm also very passionate about, this is something I want to make a lifelong pursuit, then I started researching, developing more interest, and then going from there.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about what does mental health, wait, let me rephrase this. What does healthy mental health look like to you?
So that is a really good question. So before I answer that question, I want to make that differentiation between mental health and mental illness. Because I'm not going to lie, before I was educated, I kind of thought both were the same. And so mental illness is a diagnosable brain disease, which has a lot to do with chemical imbalance and looks totally different when it comes to the treatment planning. But mental health, everyone experiences mental health. And it's one of those things that is on a continuum. You know, human emotion doesn't have to always come with a diagnosis. We all have good days, bad days, days in the middle. But healthy mental health looks like functioning at your highest self and also being happy in that functionality.
So are mood swings a symptom of unhealthy mental health, or not so much?
So here's the thing with that. So if it turns out to be something that goes on continuously for more than 2 weeks, like it's prolonged, then it could be something that should be checked into. But mood swings in general, we can say that it might just be something that occurs normally.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So Leah, as a mental health advocate, can you tell us more about some of the common things you hear from those who are living with mental health conditions?
Sure. I hear a lot of anxiety and depression, especially amongst millennials. Like, there comes pressure to look a certain way on social media, which comes with body image issues, and then there's pressure to succeed academically, you know, whether those pressures that your parents put on you or that you put on yourself, and you're really trying to learn what your interests are and who you want to be, and that can really take a toll on those symptoms of anxiety and depression. If we are talking more diagnoses, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, those aren't things that are super common, but they are out there. So it's always good to know like what a diagnosis looks like. Yeah.
But mostly when it, as you mentioned, when it does pertain to millennials, it would be around anxiety and depression. And really, are those two symptoms something that can be detrimental to one's health if it goes unnoticed or undetected?
Oh, absolutely. And I would say that a lot of the times it does go unnoticed and undetected until it's too late. And so anxiety and depression, oftentimes we'll see them together. So depression, you might have low moods, a lack of interest in things that used to interest you, anxiety related things. You might feel high stress. tremors. It can look very different. So even though the symptoms I'm listing are common, they might not be the only things because they look different with different people. And so it really is dependent upon those stressors and the things that are causing them.
So, from your experience so far, tell us, what do you wish that millennials just knew and better understood about mental health in general?
Okay, that's a good question. So, one thing I really, really just want millennials to know is that it is okay to seek therapy. Like, you're not crazy if you go find someone just to vent to decompress, to process those normal feelings that you are having. And because mental health is on a continuum, it doesn't look like one set thing. And just because you had a negative experience with one therapist, you might just need to search around a little bit,
Right.
shop around a little bit, and see what fits for you. So, in doing that, do your research, check out credentials, check out their educational background, but it is okay. That is the one thing that I really want people to know, because destigmatizing mental health is probably one of the biggest factors and the reasons why people don't seek treatment is
Right.
because people don't like talking about it.
Right. And that actually leads into my next question is, why do you think there is such a stigma associated with mental health?
So I will say culture plays a part in it. And so sometimes people like to use religion to mask needing other sorts of help. People who aren't used to communicating their feelings or just being told, oh, it's fine, you can handle it, you'll get through it, and who are taught to internalize those feelings, feel like if they seek anything beyond what they already know, then something is wrong with them.
Okay.
And admitting that something is wrong is, I mean, it can be really detrimental and really hard unless someone validates those feelings. So that stigma can come from society, from family, from what you believe it to be. Yeah, it's a lot of reasons.
Yeah. So I know you also focus on sports and wellness and mental health. Can you just speak a little bit to the common issues you see in that area?
Okay, so common issues in the sports arena, we might see pressures to perform, performance based health issues, body dysmorphia, eating disorders play a huge role in sports. And not saying that all athletes deal with these sorts of pressures, but they are unique because they are needing to maintain the highest level of performance while also still having normal human emotions, balancing life, work, career, family, and then being on these major platforms. So, professional athletes and even collegiate athletes have major platforms and a major following. And with all of that pressure, making mistakes, navigating life, I mean, it just, a lot of stuff comes with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So at what stage in our young adult life, this is mostly geared toward millennials, do you see a peak in mental health issues evolving?
Okay. I honestly, from what I've seen, I would say that 22 to 26-year-old range, when you're no longer a young person under college and you really are navigating the real
Life.
world
Yeah.
and life and really figuring out who you are. You think you know who you are, but it's not until you have to find that job, find that interest, find that balance of happiness while maintaining certain things. It's like that, I think, is where you see a lot of common things start to manifest.
Okay, that's funny that you said that. I actually read an article recently that said that 75% of millennials leave their first job because they don't feel mentally stable in that environment. So is that kind of what you've been seeing lately?
Yep. Especially amongst millennials, like happiness is one of the things that we really put up there on, not on a pedestal, but something that we prioritize. And if
Right.
it doesn't make us happy, then we remove ourselves from it very quickly. So our mental health does not look like previous generations, and it will be setting the stage for these upcoming generations, because we know if it's not assisting with our mental health and wellness, then maybe we don't need to be up there.
Right.
It's not for us. Yeah.
Okay. right, almost Dr. Leah. Now I want to get some more of your advice. What advice do you have for millennials who are suffering yet are just too embarrassed to even seek help?
Okay. So, one thing I like to do with people that I work with who might be experiencing those same feelings of embarrassment is identifying trusted people in their network. And so, starting with them, talking things out, seeing what resources are available. Um, it might even come down to watching YouTube videos in which you find comfort in. And because from what I've noticed, when others speak out about it and live in their truth, then more people feel comfortable doing it.
Right.
And so recently, we've seen a lot of people on major platforms using it, speaking up about it to somehow lower those embarrassment standards and make people feel more comfortable. But if you are feeling embarrassed about it, just know that there are multiple people experiencing the exact same thing. And so, group therapy is another great way to maybe not be so focused on you, but be surrounded with other people and think, pair, and share ideas.
Okay. All right. So kind of just really understanding there is a community that's standing with you at all times.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. What advice do you have for millennials who just want to be emotionally stable in every way? Like, what tips do you have to being emotionally stable?
I think that comes with like a lifetime of work, like self love, and it takes practice. And it is one of those things that it doesn't look the same for everybody. And nobody that I know of has actually had a perfect way to manage self care and self love. But it's those daily things, getting a routine, setting yourself up for success, and whatever that looks like for you. So there's no perfect or right or wrong way to do it, but it is achievable.
So that means removing obstacles, removing barriers, removing people who really don't bring you mental stability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who just cause chaos and corruption. That's a strong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The removal of things, the addition of things, it looks different for different people. But when you get that gut feeling, that's when you should start listening to your body.
Right. Right. Okay. And my last advice question just is, what advice do you have for millennials who want to live their best, most healthy life?
That advice, I would say, be responsible, seek out those things that make you happy, and then also plan ahead. Don't try not to wait until it gets to the point in which you have no choice but to get the help you need.
Right.
It's okay. Even I mean, I love suggesting, like, even in your peak moments, getting help. That way you have clarity of mind, peace of mind, and you know what healthy living looks like. So that way, when you have those days where it might not look like that or might not be consistent, you have the tools and the resources to live your best life.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes today's interview. Psych. One more question. So it's a finish my sentence for you.
Okay.
As a mental health advocate, I hope to.
As a mental health advocate, I hope to continue inspiring people to have the conversation around mental health, to destigmatize mental health, and for those that believe that they need assistance with balancing, that they seek the help that they need.
Awesome. So who want Dr. Leah's card after this? Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what you got going on and how they can keep up with you.
Okay, so with my PhD, I'm currently in school, and with that comes a lot of clinical practice. And so I'm currently an intern at Grady, and I'm also working on a book right now. It's called Making It Happen. So check for that. It's coming in 2020. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll leave her Instagram handle and everything below. And when that book is out, I know we're all going to buy it and support her, right? All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope that you found this interview to be very educational. Hopefully it's something you can share with your friends and even your family. This was more of an informational for my Millennial series, and I hope that you guys left learning something new or learning some new tactics that you're going to take to combat mental health. All right, everyone. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again next time.